Hi guys, so today I thought we would do a Red Riding Hood paint along. It is this month's monthly drawing prompt. I did see somebody posted in the YouTube community post, so make sure you also check out there if you want to see other artists take on the prompt. I was thinking we need a hashtag, I don't know. The Discord server is called Artist Around the Block, so maybe hashtag Artist Around the Block November 25, but that's kind of long. Maybe hashtag AATB November 25. I don't know. I'll make an announcement. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I just thought we would do a chatty little paint along. Maybe you can turn this on when you do yours. Maybe while you're working on something else, or if you just like somebody talking while you're, I don't know, just hanging out. That's kind of what this video is gonna be. I have my coffee as usual, a little decaf with a little silk pumpkin spice creamer. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not feeling the chattiest today. So there may be a couple moments here and there where if I just run out of things to say, I might add some music and speed it up a bit. But also what I thought would maybe be more fun is I have kind of a list of questions / conversation prompts that I thought maybe I would go through if I run out of things to say. So a little bit of a get to know me and just something, I don't know, to help me stay chatty. Because I'm feeling not tired today, just quiet. So, but I still wanted to film this video. So without further ado, I will flip the camera around and we can get right into it. Hi guys again. Okay, this is actually after I have finished my whole painting. Here it is, and I'm not going to show you. You have to watch the video. I know you could just scroll to the end, but don't do that, please. I wanted to make a quick announcement that the microphone that I mentioned, it was a bit muffled, so the audio in this video is a little weird sounding. You live and you learn. Hopefully that isn't too big of an issue for you, and I just wanted to give it as a disclaimer. That way nobody feels like they need to say it, but then also, just so you know, if you're weird with audio, you have a little heads up. Okay, that's it. Let's paint. Okay? Alright. Bye. Okay, I think I have us all set up properly. I'm not 100% confident of that fact, but I tried my best. So hopefully it's good enough. Yeah, I recorded with my phone and it's obviously up there and I can only see so much. Also, I apologize if there's any sound weirdness for a second. I have this little microphone thing I'm trying out and I had to move it. So this is the sketch we worked on last time with our Red Riding Hood, and I did make some adjustments to it because when I sat down today to paint and I already sketched out our drawing on my paper, I just wasn't sold on the wolf still. I felt like it was kind of weird that he had glasses, so he was kind of anthropomorphic, but she was still sitting on top of him like a horse, and so it just felt weird to me. And it felt like the tone wasn't even across the whole painting. So, I don't know, I changed it. And I'll show you what I have now. I'm just going to set that aside. So, this is where we're at now. This is the sketch I have already done. And I do like it more. I like the wolf. I think he maybe looks a little more wolf-y. And she basically stayed the same. The only thing I changed is that she's got a little bit of hair sticking out here. And then this sketch, of course, has some birch trees in the background that we should have fun doing. And one thing I wanted to do different during this painting that I actually haven't done before is to do basically where there isn't trees, the background, all these little spaces here, I wanted to do with black acrylic paint. I have acrylic paint markers that I'll use, which again, haven't done that before. I also don't know if I'll do that for the grass to make them both kind of flat, bold colors. We'll see. So yeah, we'll have a little bit of fun experimenting with that today. I've got my Winsor & Newton tried and true Cotman field set. Obviously my very, very loved palette that needs some refills desperately. And then my little extra palette that I made, it's got golden ochre, like Joan Brilliant, orange, like a cadmium orange hue, a magenta, a like olivey green, and an emeraldy green. I've got my water bowl just off the camera here. I also have this little like palette I made. I've made a few of these. I used to sell them on my Etsy shop. I don't actually think I sold any, but they're actually so helpful for me. I like having extra mixing spaces for things like backgrounds or colors. I leave my palette dirty because I know I'll use all these colors, but if I'm mixing up a gray like I will for the wolf, I don't really want to take up my whole palette to do that. And then as for my brushes, I've got my usuals. I've got this 18/0, I don't know if that means anything to anybody, round brush just from Hobby Lobby. And then I've got my 3 travel brushes that I use. See if the brand name is on here. I thought they were, but I have it linked below. And you get 3 sizes. So this is the largest size, which I probably won't use in this piece, but I set it out just in case. And then the mid size, which I'll definitely use for our little wolf. So these are our 3 travel brushes. I love these. Even though they're travel brushes, I just use them for everything. When it comes to watercolor, I don't think that you know what I should have done before I started this video? I definitely should have cleaned out my water bowl. I'm going to pause and do that real quick because I just started getting some water and it looks like tea. Alright, that is much better. Yeah, when I poured it out, let's just say I was a bit negligent with changing my water. I usually am. I was doing some painting this morning and using a lot of browns and stuff. Should I show you what I was working on this morning? Do I have it anywhere? Maybe it's in this drawer. Yes. So Piggy Pens on YouTube. I love her videos. She does coloring books. And she's doing kind of a color along with everybody. But since I don't have the coloring book, I painted my version of the page. It's not done yet. I have to do some shading and details. But I like that. So that's what I was working on this morning. But where I'm going to start with this painting is with our wolf. I want it to be a pretty limited color scheme. You know, in a lot of the pictures I was looking at, the colors were white, red, of course, green, and black, and gray. And I quite liked that. I usually go all in with color. I really love color. And I think normally what I would have done for this wolf is to do a bit of blue or purple undertones, like a purpley gray. I know it's not on camera, but I am mixing up my wolf color just off to the side here. But I don't want it to get messy with the color. I like that almost stark look, and I think it'll look really pretty when we have that black background. That I'm not gonna fuss with that too much. Okay, so right now for my color, I'm just mixing Payne's Gray with water. I think I have it way too diluted, and I do think for her skin I was gonna do some very like pale, kind of my skin color, just so she really looks stark against that background. I think I'm going to mix a bit of that into our gray, because my Payne's Gray, obviously, I don't know what the pigment is, but it doesn't have white in it, but this like yellowy Joan Brilliant color, that has white in it, and it'll give us a little bit of opacity, which I want for this. So I'm nearly there, just mixing it up. I'm a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. As the person who kind of kicked off this whole thing with the monthly challenges, I feel like mine has to be really good. And I'm worried it's not gonna be that good. But oh well. Okay, so where do I want to start? I think I'm gonna start with the tail. I want there to be a little bit of a gradient. Also gonna like add some darker bits to the end of the tail like over here. But we're just gonna dive in. I always get so nervous to start a painting, and then I remember, well, it's not gonna get done if you don't start it, Zoe. So this is me starting. I like the sketch too, which is kind of a curse, because when you like the sketch, you don't want to ruin it with the painting. But I mean, yeah, like you gotta risk ruining it to make something good. But I remember that's what somebody told me when I was in college. I got my degree in art, and I liked where my painting was going, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to add like this one detail basically. And I'm sure like everybody's heard this, but it was the first time I had heard it. It was something like, you gotta like risk something mediocre to gain something great, or something like that. Like basically, you have to risk your painting, like the mediocre painting, in order to make it a great painting. And it might make it worse, but it also could pull it out of being mediocre. Okay, that feels a little darker than I wanted when I just added that Payne's Gray, but it's alright. We're working quickly to try and blend that out. I will tell you guys what, I have been sleeping like I've never slept before. This last month, honestly. I don't know if it's because last month I moved, and at my last place I actually didn't even sleep that well, I felt like. So I don't know if now that I'm sleeping well, my body's just like, give us more. And it's like, I don't know. I've always been a good sleeper, but lately, I mean, I'm just like, I could get an A in my sleep quality right now. And it's kind of annoying because usually I'm a real early bird. But lately, I mean, now I know this will be early to some people, but I feel like I'm sleeping until 7 almost every day, and that's just not my usual. My usual is like 6, sometime a little before. I like waking up at 5:30, you know, given that I went to bed early, but yeah, it's kind of annoying to me because my daily routine is set up for me to get up early, and so I feel like I don't get as much done in the day because I'm waking up later. But I'm kind of just letting myself sleep right now. You know, I could get up earlier. I might start trying to go to bed earlier. I've been going to bed around like 10, which is like not late to me, but it's not early. It's like the latest I feel comfortable staying up most days. But yeah, I don't know. I figure if I'm doing it and it's not my usual, then I must need it. So, but I've been having the craziest dreams. I really love dreams. I love talking about my dreams. I love telling people my dreams. People don't like hearing my dreams because apparently I talk about them for too long. But dreams are just so fascinating to me. And my dreams lately, because I've been sleeping so hard, have been like really not intense as in like the subject matter is intense, just in that I think I am departing this world every night. And I'm not gonna lie, and this is maybe gonna sound problematic, it's not, but I do think I'm losing a sense of reality. Like, I feel like I keep thinking about these dreams, and I know that they're dreams, okay? But like, I'm thinking about them like they're memories. Does that make any sense? I like this gradation, okay? Just so you know. I always feel bad when you guys watch my videos, because it's like, certainly, it's gotta be tricky to follow along. By the way, because I've already interrupted myself, I will interrupt myself again. One thing that we might run into with this paper is some issues with the sizing. If you don't know what this sizing is, like if you don't do watercolors often, or if you just never heard of that before, it took me a long time to figure out what it is. Basically, it's like the coating that they put on the paper so that your paints don't just like soak all the way through. Like, you know how if you were to paint on a piece of copy paper, you would like, it would just soak right through, it would go to the back side and it would wrinkle and all that and it get really soppy. So the sizing is kind of like a primer or a gesso. That's the best way I understand it. And it just keeps things from being too absorbent on your watercolor paper. Anyhow, so this paper I got from Amazon, and you get like 120 5x7 sheets for $15, somewhere in that ballpark. Where if you've ever bought watercolor paper before, you know that's like a deal that sounds too good to be true. Oh, did I mention it's 100% cotton? I don't think I did. So I bought it because somebody on YouTube had recommended it. And I bought this like, I don't know, 6 months ago or something. And yeah, I'm generally very impressed with the paper. I very rarely have issues, except for some of the pieces I've used lately. It's not that the sizing has gone bad, which can happen. It's that like it's applied too heavily in some parts of the paper, and so when I lay my paint down, it almost is like waterproof paper, which, you know, when you're trying to paint isn't necessarily what you want. So I don't have any of those issues yet. So what I did is I bought some new paper, some Meeden paper, and that'll be like my commission, and my like kind of more important work paper, because at the end of the day your girl still can't afford Arches. Are you kidding me? When I was at Blick, my dad and I were having like a ball looking at the prices of everything, and I was like, Dad, guess how much this paper costs for 20 sheets? And he's like, $30. And I was like, oh no, it's like $75. He's like, no. It was like so fun. Yeah, so I bought Meeden paper because I've tried that and I like it. And this one I'm just using kind of more for my fun personal projects, where it's like, oh, if there's a little bit of an issue, I'm not going to be upset about it, because I know that I can live with the issues, but I'm never going to sell somebody like a custom piece or something and then it looks like patchy and gross and ugly, right? Like, you just wouldn't do that. So I did say in the Monday report video that I'm taking a little break from commissions just for this week, and I need to get my head situated, and it's Wednesday now, where, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's Wednesday. I'm like not even sure how time is going so fast this week, but it's Wednesday, so it's not that I'm not looking forward to my art vacation being over, but I'm really enjoying myself. So I'm trying to cram everything that I want to do in. But isn't it funny how it also, like, once you have the time to do something, you're like, ooh, I don't know what I want to do. You know, that's kind of also where I've been at certain times this week. But it's all good. Okay, does that look like it's a different color to you on that leg I just started? That looks like it's a different color to me. Maybe I need to re-swirl my gray paint. You know how it like settles and all that. Alright, let's see. I don't know that made a difference, but it'll all dry. It'll all look the same. But yeah, it's Wednesday now, which means that Thanksgiving is a week from tomorrow. Can you believe it? For all of my American listeners, I know that we have some people from all over the world. I cannot believe that is just like mind-blowing to me. Like, I read a comment today that somebody's from England, and I was like, what? That's wild. But yeah, that totally looks like a different color. Okay, stay on track. Come on. Good thing that you guys aren't paying for this, you know. But anyhow, so yeah, Thanksgiving is next week. And okay, also just want to say, if you're from another country, maybe you should embrace Thanksgiving this year and celebrate. You know, make yourself some casseroles, make yourself a bird, and just give thanks. you know, it's great to just get with your family and remember that it's all that you're thankful for. Okay. Anyhow, this episode is not sponsored by Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving, if you're listening, hit me up. Anyhow, so yeah, can't believe Thanksgiving's next week, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to lots of cooking, and my sister's coming into town, so it should be really fun and cozy. The weather looks like it's going to be that perfect, crispy, Thanksgiving, November-y in the Midwest type of weather. Hold on, I have to take a sip of my coffee before it gets too cold. Okay, I also have to remember every time I'm filming not to slurp, because I know that's not pleasant. Okay, let me think here. So I've been doing this little gradation, and I think I want to add some to the edge of this little bit here. In my video where we were sketching this out, I didn't know what to call this. I still don't know what to call it because I didn't look it up. Imagine that. I said something and then immediately forgot that I even said it. That happens to all of us, doesn't it? So yeah, but Thanksgiving. I was thinking when I was, I said in the intro of this video that I have a little list of questions and things, and one of the questions I did think about was like my favorite and least favorite Thanksgiving foods. And I wouldn't say this is a least favorite, but I don't eat on Thanksgiving. I actually don't eat the turkey. I'm not vegetarian. I'm basically pescatarian, but I do eat like marshmallows and things like that, and Jello. So I don't know what you call that, but I haven't had. I don't know. It was just I started doing it like when I was a teenager because I just got kind of sad eating meat. And fish doesn't make me sad. I don't know why. I've, gone back and forth with not eating fish, and I just said, no, I'm okay with eating it, and I figure at the end of the day, I just do this for my own personal reasons, so, I'll just do whatever makes me feel good and comfy. But, I never thought turkey was bad, but I will say, everybody loves on Thanksgiving to go, oh, but if you don't eat turkey, like, what do you eat? And I always look at them a little dumbfounded because it's like, okay, first of all, I know that turkey isn't your favorite part of the meal. I say that, and I'm sure I'm going to get a handful of people that say, actually, I love turkey. I could eat turkey every day. It's the only thing I eat on Thanksgiving. That's awesome. But how can turkey compete with stuffing? How can turkey compete with sweet potato casserole? I don't think it can. And so I just want you to check yourself. Wow, am I being unhinged? Maybe. But yeah, so turkey, I don't count that a part of my Thanksgiving meal, of course. But if I were actually to think of my least favorite, it's mashed potatoes. I always hated mashed potatoes with gravy. I think gravy, it just gives me kind of an icky. I don't like it. I don't know if it's the texture or the taste. I just don't like it. And I know that's meat, so obviously I don't eat it now, but I've just never liked it. But yeah, mashed potatoes. I like textures in my food. Like I don't want vanilla ice cream. I want Rocky Road ice cream. You know what I mean? And so mashed potatoes, I just kind of feel like, oh yeah, I'll have a bite, and then I'm like, I get the point. I'm not hooked. I'm like, it's fine. I just feel underwhelmed, I guess, by a mashed potato. Even if it's got the skin, even if it's got lumps, I'm just not as into it. Okay, I feel like that was a good decision, doing the gradient along the edge there, and I'm happy with that wolf. And we'll work on Little Red next. I'm gonna wait till everything dries on the face before I go in with like the nose and the ear and all that. But I take another little sip of my coffee. Delightful. Mwah. Yeah, but with like that kind of conversation in Thanksgiving with textures and foods and favorites and all that. I like this more than mashed potatoes, so it definitely isn't a least favorite, but I get the same vibe from pumpkin pie. You know, it's like, okay, I take a bite, I get it. It's like, I know what this tastes like. I'm not gonna, you know, when I have, like, I know this is so lame, but I love salad. I love salad because it's like you take one bite and you might get like apples and pecans in it, and it's like, oh, that tastes really good together. But then you might get another bite and it's like, oh, I got a cranberry that time, so good. And you get these different flavor combinations, and I'm definitely somebody who kind of likes to peck and nibble at their food, and so it's like, if I can do that with salad, I just love it. But that's not my favorite Thanksgiving food. I will say though, am I being so annoying by just talking about Thanksgiving? Whatever. This is my video. But yeah, I do think that a little harvest salad is an underrated Thanksgiving addition. You know, you need something to break up all the heaviness with the casseroles. But as for like my classic favorites when it comes to Thanksgiving, first place I think does go to pumpkin pie. I love, or not pumpkin pie, didn't I literally just say I don't like that? It's pecan. I love pecan pie. And apple pie, I could live without. I like apple pie with cranberries though. But pecan pie is just so sweet. I love caramely flavors. And the way it just gets like all gooey with the crust, that is just the best in my opinion. Delicious with some, oh my gosh, my mouth is actually watering right now. And so I love pecan pie. I also really love cranberry sauce, unless it's out of a can. I'm not into that, never have been. But if it's homemade cranberry sauce, I love it. Like my mom always makes it with lots of spices, and it is really easy to make. You know, it's like you just kind of boil cranberries and stuff, but we always make it with apples and cinnamon, and sometimes we throw in hunks of orange, and I really love that. Just like on a roll or something, or I'll just eat it with a spoon, quite frankly. Who am I kidding? And then I know that this is not a fan favorite, but sweet potato casserole and I have a history together. You know, we go way back. And I know that like people really don't like it when you say that you like the one with the marshmallows. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint, but I like the one with the marshmallows. The one with the cobbler top or that crispy, crunchy, you know, brown sugar top, she's good too. You know, I'll take her. But how many times a year do you eat marshmallows with your dinner? I'm gonna go on a limb and say not that many. And so it's like, if I have the opportunity, because I love me a marshmallow, I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm gonna be shameless in my love for it. And you know what I might do? I might be really awful, and once everybody's had their meal and people are getting, you know, packing up the leftovers, I might steal just a little bit of only marshmallow. You know, I know that's wrong, but I just might peel a little bit of that marshmallow off and just go straight in, you know? That's what you can do when it's family. They understand your flaws. Okay, look how crispy and red that is. I love it. I think this is going to come together just all right. Let's see. I'm going to take one more sip because I'm worried that my coffee is going to go all lukewarm. I'm sorry. I also don't know if I should announce it every time. I just don't want it to be awkward when I stop talking and then there's a little, you know. So I just got to tell you. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't want to face the silence between us. I'm sorry about that. I've got like a quarter of my cup left. Okay. So this is dry. Let's go ahead and do that little nose. So yeah, we've got, I love pumpkin pie. I love, or not pecan, why can't I get my head on straight? I love pecan pie. Pumpkin pie, take a hike. I love cranberry sauce. I love sweet potato casserole. Apparently I really just love sugar. I do like stuffing. but I get a little tired of it after a couple bites. That's the thing with Thanksgiving, isn't it? You know, it's like you get every food on your plate and then it's all really good. And then I feel like it gets kind of not that good kind of fast. That's how I feel about green bean casserole, where it's like, the first bite is like, oh yeah, baby. This is it. This is the good stuff. And you get that crispy onion. And then you kind of like see it on your plate and it's touching the cranberry sauce. And you're a little icked out. And then you're like, well, I'll still eat it because it's on my plate. And then you go, oh, wait, okay, maybe I'm not as into this anymore. That is how I feel, you know. But that's just me. Thinking, what else do you usually have at Thanksgiving? Some people do mac and cheese. We never really did that. I do love a roasted vegetable, like, I don't know, a roasted, like, Brussels sprout or, oh my gosh, parsnips. I could talk your ear off about parsnips. I think they're the most underrated vegetable. Speaking of underrated vegetables, acorn squash. Oh my gosh. My latest obsession has been acorn squash. I can't stop eating it. Ate the skin and everything. Just roast in the oven. 45 minutes at like 435 degrees. A little salt and pep. Oh my gosh. I've had that for dinner the last 3 nights, and I think I'm going to have it for dinner again. Should I get more variety in my diet? But let's not worry about that right now. But what else do you usually have? Some people do like a corn casserole. I do love a corn casserole. I've done cornbread stuffing before, and I've got to be honest, I'm not that into it. I just think regular stuffing is better. And then, let's see, thinking what else people usually have. I feel like there's some obvious ones I'm forgetting. Yeah, turkey, we know. Is that it? Certainly I've forgotten. If you're shouting at your screen right now, do us both a favor and comment what I've forgotten, because generally I can't think of what else you have. Thanksgiving. Maybe I got it all. You'll tell me, I'm sure. But also tell me if you guys have any weird Thanksgiving celebrations or traditions. Like, I don't know, are you one of those families that fries a turkey, or do you do anything kind of unique or different? We really don't. We used to celebrate Thanksgiving on Friday, and we would just go bowling on Thursday. And it was really fun because like nobody was at the bowling alley. And yeah, but other than that, we just kind of cook, hang out. I'm gonna watch one of my favorite movies. I always turn on a movie on Thanksgiving. First of all, I always watch Labyrinth when I'm cooking Thanksgiving dinner. With David Bowie, not Pan's Labyrinth. I love Labyrinth. I don't know why. It's just whimsical and weird and quirky. I will say the pants situation, if you know, you know, on David Bowie. We could have done without that. Just in my humble opinion. But, you know, who am I? Who am I to be the judge of all things? I'm not. And then the other one I watched last year, and everybody got mad at me for watching this because they're like, this is depressing, Zoe, because like the end, yeah, there's a little bit of a intense moment, but it's the movie Mermaids with Cher and Winona Ryder and Nicole Richie, and that is one of my favorite movies of all time. I freaking love that movie. It's so good. And I don't know if this is controversial or not. I'm not the biggest Cher fan, okay? Music, I'm not into music, and she just doesn't do it for me, okay? But in a movie from the 80s or 90s, sign me up, baby. I watched Moonstruck the other day. Loved it. It was great. What else have I seen with Cher? I did see this one about like witches and stuff. I wasn't as into that one. I just fell asleep. I don't know. I just love mermaids. Okay, watch it. You can watch it for free, like on Tubi or Pluto. You know, it's like free streaming websites. It's just really good. You'll love it. Think about what else my favorite movies are. that always seems like a question I don't ever feel right when I answer. Like people ask me and I'm like, oh, I don't know, Mamma Mia. Because I do love Mamma Mia. And I know what you're thinking, Cher's in Mamma Mia too. Yeah, doesn't do it for me as much. I mean, Mamma Mia 2 is great. I cry every time I watch it. And I think I've watched it 98 times. Oh, you know what movie I love? I love the movie Cars. Yeah, like the Pixar movie Cars. I think that's such a good movie. I'm obsessed with it. I watch it like 6 times every summer. One thing you might have picked up about me, a personality trait I have, is that if I love something, I am obsessed with it. So I don't just love acorn squash right now. It's the only thing I'm eating. I don't just love the movie Mermaids. It's the only movie I want to watch, you know? So, fun fact about me. I'm thinking about what color I want to do her tights. I'm not sure. But yeah, what other movies? Let me percolate and take a sip of my little cup of joe real quick. It's such a weird temperature my coffee is right now. I'm not thrilled about that. I'm going to work on her skin, I think. Also, does his ear need to be more red? I think I'm going to make that like scarlet red. I'm just not loving it, and I think it'd be cute if they kind of match there. Yeah, what other movies do I like? I really loved Guardians of the Galaxy. That used to be one of my favorites. I don't think it is anymore. I love a 90s movie. I do think that no good movie has been made except for, or what am I saying? I don't think there's been a good movie since 2006. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, yes, there are exceptions. But all in all, anything before 2006 is gonna be just like infinitely better than most things made now. I'm trying to think of what's a recent movie that I like really stand by. Okay, I did say Mamma Mia. Let me call myself out. I also saw the movie Roofman last month, and it was pretty good. Not a favorite movie, but it was pretty good. I know a lot of people don't go to the theater anymore. I go to the theater quite a bit. Me and my boyfriend do. We like it. He's really into movies, so yeah, he's always making me go. Not that I don't want to go, I do. Especially when you go to one of those places that have like the reclining chairs. I love that. But yeah, and there's no movies I really want to see right now. I guess, yeah, I'm kind of interested in the new Frankenstein movie. I don't know why. That's like totally not my type of movie, but for some reason I just kind of want to see it. I'm intrigued, but I'm worried I'm going to be scared. Because I don't like scary movies. But then there's sometimes, like, for example, the same guy who directed the Frankenstein movie directed Pan's Labyrinth. And I do quite actually like that movie. I can't believe that has come up twice today. Pan's Labyrinth, not regular Labyrinth. But, yeah, I actually like that movie. It doesn't scare me. And that guy who's all, like, weird looking and fleshy, I just feel bad for him. I think he's misunderstood. So, I do like that movie. So maybe I'm wondering if I'll have that same vibe from the Frankenstein. But yeah, those are kind of my favorite movies. When I was looking at questions for today that I could kind of talk about, obviously some of the first things that came up were just general favorites. And in my last video on Monday, the Monday Report, I was talking about my favorite food, because that's always like the first one that comes to mind, right? And I said grapes. Stand by that 100%. And I was thinking, okay, well, like, what's my favorite meal to eat? And I don't know what my favorite meal to eat is. I mean, acorn squash. I love soup too, like a good vegetable soup, and I make a mean one. I really do. Not to toot my own horn, but toot toot. I love a good vegetable soup, and I could eat it every day, or like chili. But then, you know, it's a food that I think I could eat any time of the day, just infinitely, is grilled cheese. I think a grilled cheese always sounds good. Give it to me with a chunky tomato soup. Oh boy. That's what I would do if I could just do whatever I wanted. I love to, you know, like I love to just play kind of question games, you know? And so, you know, one of my favorite questions is like, okay, what would your last meal be? And by the way, for all the questions I'm answering right now, feel free to answer them yourself. I always feel like it's weird when I just answer and it's like, this isn't about me, you guys. This is about us. We're into this together. Sorry, that was like funny and weird. But I think, so the parameters are, for the last meal, you get 2 beverages, you get an appetizer, you get an entree that has like your main as well as 2 sides, and you get a dessert, okay? And so for my beverages, I'm having a glass of pink milk, probably Nesquik. It's incredible, and there's no debate about that. And then, you know how like at the grocery stores, like every store has them, they have those like 1 liter bottles of sparkling water. One of those from Meyer in the white grape flavor. Oh boy, those are so good. I just love them. And people think I'm weird that I drink the whole thing, and I'm thinking, I just opened a sparkling water. What am I gonna do? Not drink the whole thing? You know? Like, it's gonna go flat and it's not gonna be good. I have to drink the whole thing. So yeah, I love those. So those would be my beverages. And then as for hold on, my nose is running a bit. I need to just deal with that. As for my main, okay, well, I think one of the sides definitely has to be corn on the cob. Corn on the cob is so good. And then maybe for the main, like, ooh, I think I will go with grilled cheese, like on sourdough, with a sharp cheddar. Sign me up, baby. Sorry that I keep calling you baby. And then it's like a thing for me lately. I don't know why. And then for my other side, oh, I need to get an appetizer. Okay, appetizers, a big hunk of Parmesan cheese, my favorite cheese, so good. And on like with that, some grapes and crackers. That would be my little appetizer plate. So then for the main, we've got grilled cheese, we've got corn on the cob, and I love Parmesan roasted cauliflower, so I think I'm having that. A little spice in there, something good. Yeah, that's what I want for my main. So I want only cheese for dinner and corn. I want yellow foods. And then for dessert, what's my favorite dessert? Okay, well, I do love a pavlova. It's always what I have for my birthday pavlova. And then, but I don't know that that's what I'm going for. I think I'm gonna go for a strawberry rhubarb pie that's got a like crispy oat top that my mom made, because she makes it better than anybody I've ever had make cobbler. And I want it served hot with vanilla bean ice cream. Now, before you say, Zoe, I thought you liked chunky ice cream, not vanilla ice cream or like smooth ice cream. Correct, but that's gross if you're gonna put like moose tracks on your cobbler. No thanks, I'll pass. So that's where I'm at for my last meal. By the way, one decision I have to make is her hair and her tights. So, okay, also concentrate, Zoe. Don't get sloppy. Okay, don't know if that was the right decision, but it's done. So it just has to be what it is. There's a little gap. Okay. Her hair, I want to do a dark brown, but I'm worried to do a dark brown because we're not gonna have brown anywhere else. But you know, her skin has like those. Oh my gosh, I keep hiccuping and burping. Oh, it's just awful. I'm sorry. Her skin has those kind of warm, like fleshy tones that I feel like the brown maybe will work. And we're gonna have green. Her tights, I'm wondering if I should do like a green and white stripe. I'm gonna go in and do like a cool brown for the hair. Hopefully it's not too dark. We'll see though. I also don't know that everything's dry, but living on the edge. Okay. Have you guys been watching Dancing with the Stars? I'm sorry if you haven't and that I'm talking about it right now. But so it's on Tuesday nights. I highly suggest if you're able to watch it that you watch it. I am so into that show right now. And frickin' Whitney Lovett went home last night, which I've only recently learned that she's not everybody's favorite, and I know she went home because nobody voted for her. But that's so unfair. She was by far the best. I already know Robert Irwin's gonna win, and he's good, but people, it's all about the dance, you guys. It's not about the personality. You know, this isn't a popularity contest. I mean, it is, and that's what I'm mad about. So, I'm really bummed Whitney Lovett went home. I liked her. I've never actually, I liked her dances. I don't know much about her, and I've never watched the show she's on. But she could dance. I wish I could dance like that. And maybe that's why she went home. Maybe everybody was just so jealous of the fact that they couldn't dance like that they just said, we gotta send this girl home. That's what I'm gonna tell myself. That's the only way I can come to terms with it. But yeah, finale's next week. Can't wait. Tried to get my mom to watch. She refused. I thought that was rude. And then I mentioned how I'm watching the show Sirens on YouTube. And I have one episode left. There's only 5 episodes in this like limited series. And this show has gone in a direction I did not think it would, if I'm being honest. But I like it. And I'm really excited to watch the final episode. I don't think I'll watch it tonight, but probably tomorrow I'll watch it. Okay. I feel good about where we're at with the hair because you don't see it too much. And hopefully it stands out against the black background. We'll see, of course. I'm gonna have another sip of my dying coffee. Hold on. Delightful. Okay. Delightfully about 74 degrees. Just like how everybody loves their coffee. Alright. Tights. We gotta confront the elephant in the room, the tights. Should I do... I'm gonna do black and white. And by black, I mean really dark gray. I think, you know, it won't get too similar to the wolf, but it'll keep it all in the same color scheme. And I think that starkness might be kind of nice because we're gonna have that stark background. The thing I gotta decide that I didn't sketch in was if I want any leaves on the trees. I think I will add some just to tie in that green because there's going to be a heavy amount of green down here and I just don't want that to look out of place and just like this green block that isn't anywhere else. I'm quickly going to sketch those in, those little leaves. These little tights plus the red really makes me think of The Wizard of Oz. Which, by the way, is that a Thanksgiving movie to you guys? It's a Thanksgiving movie to me because they always play it on Thanksgiving. But there's nothing about that movie that has anything to do with Thanksgiving. Okay, I need a pencil. A little go-to June Gold 2mm pencils. I love these. I love sketching in red. It just looks better to me. And if it pokes through, it doesn't I don't notice it as much. I don't mind it if it pokes through. Yeah, this was the right decision adding some leaves. I'm already certain of it. But yeah, it also doesn't smear, because I hated when I was younger and I used to draw, and I would get like on this part of my hand all that gray. I just hated that. I looked like the Tin Man, if we're talking about the Wizard of Oz. Okay, I don't want to add too many, and I think I'm about to add too many. We'll leave it at that. I just want it to look balanced, but I think once I have some painted in, I'll know if it looks balanced or not. Okay, so now I'm going to mix up my green color. I'm using that medium-sized brush. One tip that I heard from somebody, and also for the green, I'm just mixing together basically every green that was on my palette just now. I always do a warm green, it seems, especially for grasses and stuff, but I'm an olivey green kind of girl, not an emeraldy green kind of girl. What was I saying? I totally just forgot. I have no idea. I'm so sorry if it was about to be interesting. I mean, I don't necessarily think it was. Oh, I know what it was. Okay, great. So one tip I heard about watercolor painting is that you should always use the largest brush that you can. Like the largest brush you can get away with without being totally out of control or totally painting outside of your lines. Because it will help you have smoother paint application, right? And it makes sense because with watercolor you gotta fight things drying and you gotta kind of work quickly when you're covering large areas specifically. But once I started doing that, it's a little nerve-wracking, like if you have a small space and you're going in with what feels like a large brush. But I will say, I do think it makes a difference. I'm really trying to get better at my backgrounds in my watercolor washes. I don't think I'm there yet, because okay, whenever I do just a flat color in the background, it always looks kind of patchy, and I'm not that into that. I don't think anybody is, but oh, I gotta concentrate. Oh boy, oh my gosh. But to try and help myself out with my not inability, but just I don't have fun either when I'm doing flat washes in the background, because I'm just stressed the whole time and I'm not satisfied with how it comes out. And so while I could try and get better at doing flat washes, I could also find ways to avoid doing flat washes, right? Large areas. So I've been trying to add more by doing backgrounds and stuff, because backgrounds are something that in my art I really don't feel confident in. And it's not just watercolors, it's anything, even if I'm digital drawing or something and I can pull up a grid for perspective, I just don't feel like I can do the perspectives right, I guess. I think that's really what it comes down to. Perspective isn't my strong suit, which is why I draw things a lot of the time front facing, from the side, or 3/4. And you know what? Just to give myself a little bit of grace, because I'm sure, obviously if anybody's watching this, we have to start there, but I'm sure that if I feel that way, somebody else feels that way, that I thought to myself oh, almost just dipped my brush in my coffee, my gosh. But I sometimes feel oh, I must not be that good because I always seem to draw things in the same orientation, from the same angle. And if I was a really good artist, I would be able to do it from any angle. Or I see artists do these really complicated illustrations, and every time I try to do that, I just don't like the way that it turns out. And so I just want to say that I've learned to not be hard on myself for that and just embrace that as part of my art. Yes, I do think there's always room for improvement, and it may be something that I get better with over time, but I don't need to let myself think that I'm not very good, because I don't draw like in all these crazy complicated ways, you know. My art, it's not complicated to begin with, and so when you add on all this stuff, it may not even be what looks best, you know. Keeping it a little more simple and clean and straightforward for my personal style may be what works best. But, you know, it's, like I said, it's something I struggle with, but that doesn't mean that it's like the end all be all. Like, if I ever get good at that, that doesn't mean my art's gonna be better. That doesn't mean I'm better. Like, yeah, I think my art will get better over time. I mean, it usually seems to go that way. You know, when I look at my art in the past, I don't really like it. And I see ways that I've improved, which is cool. I don't know. I know I can be hard on myself for feeling like I don't know how to draw or paint all these different backgrounds and perspectives and things like that, but I don't think it's a big deal. You know? At the end of the day, maybe it's what helps keep my art. You know, what keeps it more unique to me is that I have certain things that I'm good at doing and certain things that I'm not good blah blah blah. I'm all tongue-tied. Certain things that I'm not good at doing, and both of those inform how I create my painting. You know, so motivation. I will say, I also am always a little, like, weirdly self-conscious in my watercolor skills, because the way I use watercolors, I feel like actually isn't, I feel like watercolors isn't the best medium to use for how I like to do my art. Like, I don't do a lot of, like, flowy and loose representations. I feel like watercolors you always see are like landscapes are done in watercolors and things, or things where you need a lot of blending and, like I said, like some flow. But I don't really do that. I do like to, so I did like a little gradient, and I do like to do like multicolored stuff, like on, wait, hold on. This is like the worst time to stop. Hold on, let me just fill this in and I'll show you what I'm talking about on that log cabin illustration I did. Yeah, I already have a little bit of a line there. I don't care. I just don't. You know, I'm not in the mood to let that bother me today. So it's just not gonna bother me. But yeah, like you can see on this one here how I have like that multicolored pastel-y sky. Like, yeah, watercolors were super fun for that. But all in all, I always think I draw like a coloring book where I make the lines and then I fill it all in. And I do sort of like flat colors. So I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee because I see it and I need to drink it. Oh, yuck, it's like actually cold now. Ew. It's fine. I gotta drink it. I'm not gonna let that go to waste. But yeah, I always feel like I just use watercolors. I'm not a watercolor artist, and I feel like there's probably other mediums that would work better for my art, like gouache or something like that. And I've played around with all sorts of things. I've had marker phases. I've had colored pencil phases. I've had water-based marker phases. What else? I've had clay phases. This isn't my first watercolor phase. So, you know, there's just something I love about using watercolors. And so that's, I guess, just why I keep using it. I don't know what it is. I just feel like maybe I like that I can paint anywhere, you know? I don't need to, make a whole mess. It's really easy to travel. It dries really quick, so I can make lots of art, you know? And I just feel like I'm in control with the watercolor than I am with, like, a lot of other paint, which is funny because I would always say that, like, and I still stand by this actually, that watercolor is like a really good medium to start with if you're interested in painting, because you can't be fully in control, and so you have to accept like the outcome, whether or not you like what you're able to do, you know, like you have to let go a bit. And I think that's an important lesson in art. I don't know where to put my hand, but I just feel like there's something, you know, like with acrylic, it's thicker and it gets mushy when you don't let it dry, and there's just, you know, I used to paint with acrylics like a lot, and I like acrylics more than oils. I have never done oil painting for fun. The only time I've done oil painting was in college. That was like what they wanted us to do. And actually, funny story about that. So when I was in college, it was 2018 to 2022. Okay? And so, you know, we had COVID during that time. And great time to be in college, by the way. You know, you hardly had to work, and you hardly had to go to class. But I say that as an introvert who actually didn't want to go to college. So just so you know where I'm coming from. But yeah, I did a lot of oil painting then, and I hated how it took so long to dry. And also, oh yeah, my funny story. So they had us do oil painting from our rooms, because like obviously we weren't supposed to be in school, and it was like when I took this oil painting class, it was in the winter. So if you know anything about oil painting, you know that it's a little dicey. It should be like well ventilated. There's some toxic materials involved in that paint, and we were all just like in our bedrooms, windows closed, just oil painting. And so I don't know if I'll have like problems when I'm older. I probably won't. I'm not actually worried about it. Those are future Zoe's problems. Okay. We need to address the trees. I didn't know what I was supposed to do next just then. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our gray that we used for the wolf, and I'm going to water it down quite a bit. You know how on birch trees you get those like gray bands or something like that? That's what we're going to go for. Have I ever painted a birch tree? Nope. Seen them. Gone to Minnesota a lot. Used to live in Minnesota, but it looks like moldy bread, which I'm not that thrilled about. I feel like I needed to choose a way I'm gonna do this. Okay. Golly, I keep thinking about my dream last night. I was at the thrift store in my dream, and I'd found this like toy, like this kid's toy that reminded me of one I really did have in real life, you know? And I just can't stop thinking about it. Also, going to the thrift store in your dream is so annoying. I actually think I've talked about this before, because it's so annoying because you find the best stuff in your thrift stores in your dreams. And then you go to the regular thrift store and it's, for some reason, $12 for a stained shirt. And you're like, but it's the best thing I found here today. You know what I mean? That's so annoying with Goodwill. Like, Goodwill, you get your stuff for free. What are you doing? Why are you charging me Target price? I would rather have one that doesn't have holes, doesn't have any of that pilling, and that once I put it on, I don't have to think, will I be smelling another person's odors, you know? So I've been on a Goodwill boycott. I'll donate because I need to get rid of my stuff, but I don't know. They also fired my friend, so I'm not as into that, you know? She was just trying her best. Okay, these are not the best birch trees I've ever seen in my whole life, but you know what? Who said they were going to be? I said that this is the first time I've ever painted a birch tree, so these are going to be my first attempt, and therefore they are my best attempt. Are they getting worse though, the more I do? Yeah, they might be. That's okay. Alright, I'm gonna look at my little list of questions. I feel like for somebody who said they were not in a chatty mood, I've been quite chatty. I don't know why. I find it so... I guess I just have always liked talking. And I've found it I don't know, almost relaxing to talk when I paint. I feel like I paint worse, but it's almost like I can talk myself through it, you know? These look like birch trees, right? Like, they look like trees. I'm really excited to get the black background in, because I think that's where this piece is really going to transform. And normally when I do my, like, more detailed paintings, I guess, like I have like my full-on style, and then I have my quick style. And for my quick style, I do less shading, I do black pen for the outline, and when I do my more full-on style, like I do paint for the outline. Like, I'll use my detail brush and I'll go in and paint around everything. But this time, because we're going to have the black background, I actually think it'll look really good to do the pen, to tie in some of that black. And then also, it's just kind of what I feel like doing lately. And I think sometimes you got to remember, like, you don't have to be stagnant in your art, and not only do you not have to, you shouldn't be, right? Like, you should let yourself play and explore, especially like when you have the opportunity. You know, I thought these prompts would be fun because, one, I thought it'd be fun to have like community-based stuff, but then also to like push myself out of my comfort zone with what I usually do, you know? Because I think as artists, we all have things we like to paint more, you know? Not that it's all the same stuff, but we have certain things that we're drawn to, certain colors and mediums, and so it's like, with these monthly prompts, I just thought it'd be more fun if I could challenge myself and, you know, like today, do a color palette that I'm not used to, do a technique that I don't usually do, and take it as like basically an invitation to play, not just an opportunity, but like to really let myself play. Also, when I get these trees done, I know it won't make a difference to you, I think I'll take a little pause, let everything dry, then we'll do the line art and the background. And as for shading, I don't know if I'm going to do that on camera. I think I might do that off camera, because that's something I kind of like to putter away with. But then I'll make sure I share a picture. I mean, obviously I'll share a picture on Discord, and it'll encourage you to go check it out on the community tab or Discord. So you'll see it mostly done though. Who are we kidding? You know, but I don't think I'll do the shading and stuff, because again, that's something I really like to turn on a YouTube video and just slowly work through. And I feel like it'll be kind of hard for me to do that while I'm talking. I don't know. Besides, my desk is kind of full right now with stuff, because I don't know if you could see the way I prop my phone up, it's like not the most professional thing. And so I need a little more space, I think, for my colored pencils. But yeah. Fun fact for you, whenever you see me filming a video where you can like it's like front facing, just so you can imagine like what's going on behind the camera, you are propped up on my big old water bottle. I have this huge water bottle. It's like a big jug. It's got like 80 ounces in it. I love it because I hate filling up my water bottle, and I will not drink water if I have to fill up my water bottle. Anyhow, and so yeah, you're sitting on top of that whenever you see it front facing. Okay, trees are done. Little details still need to be done, of course. I might add some little texture marks to a wolf. I gotta think on it. I'm gonna pause the camera. We'll come back when I've let this dry and I've had some moments to think. Okay, so things might have changed a little because I took my phone down from the mount, and when I did, I realized that it's a lot later than I thought it was in the day. It's like 1:30, and I need to have lunch at some point, so I think I'm going to have lunch at around 2 or something. So what I'm going to do is just see how much I can get done. right now, and if I feel like the video is getting too long, I'll just finish it up off camera. But I don't know, I'm worried that's not going to be okay for some of you, that you're going to wish you saw everything. But I'm going to try my best to film it all. I just don't want this video to be so long that it takes like 3 hours to upload to YouTube and everyone's like, we don't want this. Because I do know people prefer like the shorter videos. But what I'm hoping to get done is the background and any other painted details, like I might add to her cloak and add some like texture to the wolf. But I want to go in and add this. It's by the brand Artistro. I've never used the black one before. But I wanted to go in and do this because I think this is really going to change the way the painting looks. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. The nice thing is it's black, so it's going to cover up any, you know, like it's, I guess, harder to mess up, but also if I mess up, it's going to be really obvious. You know what I mean? Oh, just got to start, right? You just got to make, and then my brain will click in and it'll flow. Don't you ever feel like that's the case? Like you just got to wait for your brain to click in. I mentioned how I wanted to try and do this. If you saw my Silky Crayons first thoughts, impression, review, whatever, how there's this artist that I really like. She doesn't post, I don't think, anymore, but her name was Chelsea Gracie, I think, and I'll link her below. But she did some, like, I think they were gouache illustrations where, like, the background was all black, and they looked really cool. And I really wanted to try that myself, but I never have. So like I said, this is our opportunity to play and try new things. And I'm really interested to see how this looks with my art. And I actually am excited too, because if it's something that I like the look of, then, you know, it might be a new way I do my art. Like, isn't that so exciting when you try something new? You're like, oh, but this could be one of those moments that changes everything. Like, for those of you who do art, which I'm assuming is most of you, but honestly, let me know if you don't do art. And don't give me, I do art, but I'm not good. That's not what I'm asking. Like, if you're not interested in art, why are you watching this video? Thank you. I just genuinely want to know. I hope that didn't sound judgy. But, yeah, you know, when you look through your old art pieces and you're like, oh yeah, that's when I was like really into drawing cats, or like, oh yeah, that's when I was in my colored pencil phase, or like, oh yeah, that's when I was drawing eyes that way. And you can kind of like timestamp your art based on how you did it, and like not even just skill level, just purely, oh yeah, I remember I was like really into doing that. And so this could be one of those things where I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, that was the first time I ever tried doing that, and now I do it all the time. Because like I said, I'm trying to kind of figure out my background style. I like this black marker. Sometimes these Artistro ones, they can be a little bit transparent. The black I didn't think would be, you know, like, you just gotta layer them up. Like, they're not, I haven't used many paint markers. I don't think these are necessarily the best, but they were only $10, so I bought them because I needed a paint marker. And, you know, I didn't know if it was something I would use a lot of for my art, so I didn't want to risk shelling out a bunch of money. I just wanted to do something that I was like, I don't have to feel bad if this doesn't do what I'm hoping it does. But I will say I like that it lays down really thin. It doesn't leave like a claggy, thick paint layer. I feel like you could almost do the same effect with like a black marker. Also, I really hope I'm not getting my head in the shot, but maybe I am. You know, I just really am so tempted to like sit right on top of my painting here. you know. By the way, funny little thing. I went on Instagram real quick while I was waiting for things to dry. And I saw somebody tag me. And people don't usually tag me and stuff. So I was like, oh no, what is this? I got a little scared for some reason. I mean, not that I have said anything all that controversial other than I'm not a big fan of Cher. But, you know, they don't know that I said that yet. I hadn't posted this video, unless they're in the walls. Anyhow, so somebody had like filmed a shout out to me. I thought that was pretty cool. So if you're watching this, thank you so much. I said thank you and I posted it to my story so other people could see like your stuff. But that was pretty cool. I feel like a star. You know, that's been my joke lately, that I'm a real star, because I had one video get a lot of attention, and I'm obviously joking, you know. I don't want people to actually think that I'm like disillusioned or something, you know. But it is cool that people are starting to watch my videos now. Like, I think the last video I did, like my sketch along, got a couple hundred people saw it, and that was pretty awesome because I love making these art videos. You know, I don't make them super complicated. Like, I don't know how to film and edit stuff all that savvily. Is that a word? And so I just kind of do it, and so it's nice when like more than 4 people watch. I mean, it was cool if anybody watches, but it is kind of nice now that we're building community that people will like tell me what they were working on, or they'll be like, oh yeah, I thought that was cool, or I know what you mean when you said this. Like, it actually just makes it feel like I'm talking to people now, and I really enjoy that. It's just been kind of fun, but I'm prepared for you know, a couple weeks from now, everybody be like, what the heck are we watching this girl for? You know, we're bored. I'm ready for it. You know, I'm just waiting for everyone to figure it out that I'm not boring. I'm just, maybe, I don't know, I'm just waiting for people to get bored. Not that I think I'm boring. But, yeah. By the way, so far I'm liking the black background. I think this is looking really cool. I'm not sure how it's gonna look around her hair because her hair is really dark. I didn't want to keep her hair light though. I don't think that would have looked right. When I think of Red Riding Hood, I always think of her with brown hair, usually braids too. I think a lot of us do. There must be some, like most versions of that must just do that. And I don't remember which. Like was it Grimm Brothers that the story originally comes from? I'm not sure. Maybe you know. If you do, let me know. Alright. And also doing these little tiny parts in between the trees. Well, with this marker, because this is quite a flexible brush tip, it's not particularly it's not hard, but it's not particularly easy. I do find a little bit relaxing and kind of satisfying to some extent. It's like you just have these little bite-sized pieces you need to worry about, and you do it and you move on. I like that. But yeah, I like the way that this is changing the tone of the piece. It's making it a little more ominous isn't the right word, but a little more serious maybe. Is that what I want to say? I don't know. It does make me feel like I'm doing my coloring books. Well, I say my coloring books. I never do coloring books. I don't think I have the patience. And I don't know why, because like I will spend 8 hours on a painting and enjoying it, being sad when the painting's done. But for some reason with coloring books, I just don't get that same satisfaction or something. I don't know. I feel like it's because you're doing one step pretty much the whole time. Like you're just doing the coloring the whole time. And I know people shade them and all that, but like I like the drawing aspect. I definitely think I'm better at drawing than I am at painting. And I didn't really ever think of that until recently. I never thought of myself that way until recently. I was watching Portrait Artist of the Year, and I was watching the way these people, yeah, that is pretty close in color, but we'll see what we can do about that. But I was watching these people paint, and I'm like, man, I just, like, my brain doesn't work like that. Like, I can't lay paint down in that way. And because I've always thought too, my dad and I both have always talked about this, that we're both this way, that I see in lines. Like, if you ask me to draw something, I'm going to do the outlines of it. I'm not good at seeing negative space or, you know, like, even volume all that well. Which isn't a problem when you have kind of a cartoony, illustrative style like I do. But I've never been really that good at drawing realistically. I would like to try. I did get this book from the library, Drawing Birds. I think I talked about it a little bit. And I would just like to see if I'm any good at drawing realistic. It's just not something I do often. You know, I had to do it sometimes for college, but it's never been really a part of my journey. I was thinking recently, yeah, you can like not see her hair at all. I don't know what we're gonna do about that. I will figure it out. Might be something post filming that I work out. Yeah, it's just not something I'm that good at. I've always, with my art, I think, been drawn towards the same themes that I am now. There was a while where my art kind of like wasn't dark, it was just weird. Like, there's this one sketchbook I have that I'd love to find it. I feel like it's one of those items that I never know where it is, and then I randomly come across it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta put this somewhere else, and then I like put it somewhere else, and then I have no idea where it is again. Like, do you have those items where it just feels like they're always lost? That is this one sketchbook to me, and it's this Andy Warhol themed sketchbook. I got it from the art museum, like, when I was 10. They had an Andy Warhol exhibition going. But yeah, that's not the point. Sorry, I had to concentrate while I got in that little nook right there. Also, I see that that's not green. I'm gonna fix that, so don't worry. But yeah, there was like some really graphite heavy drawings in there, and I feel like I was feeling maybe some teen angst or something when I did those. If I find it, I will definitely be filming a video. I think it's at her cabin, so I'll check when I go there for Christmas. But yeah, that was, and I'm always annoyed because I didn't even finish that sketchbook. I don't feel like I didn't finish a sketchbook until like 2 years ago, when I got into like my little sketchbooks. Like, do you feel that way, that you lose the motivation with sketching, and instead of picking up where you left off in your sketchbook, because then when you go back to that sketchbook, you're like, oh, this isn't how I draw anymore. Oh, these are ugly pages, and you're like, you know what I need? I need a new sketchbook, because a fresh start is going to motivate me, and I'm going to have the best artwork ever. And then, you know, it's like a cycle. Then you kind of lose the motivation, or you go like, oh, these pages, they don't look that good, or you get some art block, and then you abandon it. That's like every sketchbook I have, except for my last, I think, 3 or 4. I don't know. My sketchbook means a lot to me now. It's like a comfort or something. I bring it places even though I know I'm not going to really have the opportunity to sketch, because I feel like, oh, if I get really overwhelmed and I just need to give myself a minute away, then I can whip it out and do a little drawing or something. I don't know. I feel like I would like to be a light packer in general, but I'm not, because I like my comforts of home. You know, I like just to be home. So when I travel, it's like, well, okay, if I'm going to do this, I got to have everything I want to have, right? And so yeah, I'm not like an extremist with it, but it's like, oh, okay, I gotta bring like the tea I like because I don't want to drink any other tea, or I've gotta have like, you know, outfit for being cozy in the hotel room or the, you know, wherever we're staying, as well as I need an outfit for like when I need to actually be presentable. And I always feel like I like to go to a grocery store when I travel. I like to always have lunch in the room, or like, you know, bring it along. And I also, as somebody who just likes to cook and likes to bake, I find going to grocery stores and other places really interesting, whether it's like a really, you know, different place or not. But last year I went to Slovenia, and I loved going to the grocery store. I think I went like every day because I just thought it was so fun to look around, and it's like the foods, there's some that are really different, and then there's others that you're like, oh yeah, we have that too, and it's kind of like comforting to know. But then all the brands are different too, and one thing I will say that we do right in America is ketchup. Our ketchup is really good. And I don't know why things are getting lost in translation in other countries. The food, though, that I think that other countries are doing a lot better than us is jams. In Slovenia, I got this raspberry jam. I ate the whole thing, I think, with a spoon. Or, you know, I ate like half the jar just with a spoon. It was so good. Oh, and cheese. They do cheese really well in other countries. Our cheese is fine. You know, if you didn't learn from my last meal that I shared earlier, I really like cheese. Like Kraft Parmesan cheese, I think I could put on anything. I have yet to meet a meal that it doesn't taste good on. And you might be like, what about, I don't know, I can't even think of anything. I'll put on chili, put on anything. Maybe not a taco, that might be a little icky, but I haven't tried it. So maybe it's also really good. Alright, how are we feeling? If I cover up this, yeah, I'm liking it. I wish you could see her hair. I wish I had gone lighter for that. I don't know what, I don't want to do a white outline. You'll just have to wait and see, I think, what I end up with. Maybe I can lift it a little bit too, but that never seems to go well for me, if I'm being honest. Okay, I said earlier that I was going to look at my questions list, and I kind of haven't. Let me see if there's anything interesting. Oh, a skill I want to learn. So, one skill that I tried to learn that I kind of failed at learning was roller skating. I bought myself roller skates, and I was roller skating every day, trying to get better because I'm naturally not that good at that, I learned. And then I fell on my tailbone so bad in the middle of the street. Oh my gosh, it hurt so bad. It hurt for months. And since then I was terrified to roller skate again. But I don't like it that I let that beat me, you know. I'm usually a person that's like, if I want to do something, I just do it. And it's like, I have these roller skates that I bought, they're cute and all that, and I just haven't gotten rid of them because getting rid of them means that I've accepted my failure, that I'm not going to keep doing it. So I gotta try it. I just gotta, I don't know, it's a confidence thing, I think. Another skill that I would like to learn though, I mean, roller skating is the first one. I don't know. Oh, I've always thought it'd be really cool if I could play the drums or the guitar. Again, I tried with the guitar, and I just don't think I'm all that much of a musically inclined person. You know, I always thought if I could like learn German and play drums, though, I'd be like the coolest girl ever. But I know how to do neither one of those things, so I'll leave it to some other cool girls. Oh, that's gonna be annoying because that's gonna, whatever. I should have put a tree like right here. You know, it's okay. You live and you learn. We're not gonna be bothered by little things today. This is just for our own enjoyment, right? But yeah, think those are the skills I would like to learn the most. But I used to think I have too many hobbies, and that might have used to been the case, but now I just like my current hobbies too much. I mean, with art, I wouldn't even call that a hobby really anymore, right? Because, like, it's what I do full time. That's also what I do, like, on the weekends for fun. And I love to cook, and I do that every day because you gotta eat dinner. And so it's like, oh, when I have the time, like, those are the things I want to do. You know, I'm, like, too obsessed with them to do anything else or to learn anything else. And that's not to say I'm always doing them. Like, my favorite thing to do on the weekend is to sit on the couch, turn on, like, some YouTube videos, maybe a little bit of PBS. I love me some PBS. And, like, the cooking shows and stuff. Turn that on, cozy up, and just chill out. You know? That's what the weekends are for. Not doing too much. You know? At least in my opinion, that's what I like to do. Alright. We're getting to the end here with our background. I'm actually really excited about it because I've found it very hard to talk and concentrate and not ruin these trees. You know, when you get to the end, you can get lazy. You're like, oh, I just had to check that I was still recording real quick because I just realized that I forgot if I ever pressed the button, but thankfully I am. I do think I won't be able to finish this. I don't think I'll have enough room on my phone. And besides, how much do you want to hear me talk about Thanksgiving anymore? You know, or maybe you like it. I don't know. I did have some people in my last video say that they like these long chatty videos. I do too. I'm always watching them while I make art. Anyhow, yeah, on the weekends I like to watch my PBS. Be cozy. Alright. So, that is that on the background. I really like where we're landing. I'm just going to go in and do a couple little texture details on our wolf here. I'm worried I'm going to mess it up, but gotta risk it, you know? You gotta risk it. I'll do something light, maybe. I was just thinking like some little dashes or something. Ooh. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. I think I need to eat lunch. I think I need to take a pause and do some practices. So I'm so sorry that I'm leaving you without the finished piece done. But you'll have to stay tuned because I just don't think I'm going to be able to get it all done today. I'm really sorry. That was never my intention. But I hope you enjoyed this paint along, and if I do finish it before this video goes up, I'll make sure I include a picture, because I'm so grateful that you continue to stick with me, and I want to make sure that you saw it, of course. So alrighty, so real quick, I already signed off on the video, but I'm just going back, and I wanted to show you guys how the piece came out. I know it's a bit shaky, I'm just holding my phone, but I wanted to be able to kind of get close. Yeah, there's a couple spots that I might touch up, but I went in and added some polka dots to her little jacket, cloak. I also was able to lighten up her hair with some Prismacolors, and so I think that helped. I added some little dashed lines to indicate fur. And I gotta tell you guys, I'm really happy with how this came out. I really like this black background, and I do think it's something I want to continue to experiment with. Let me know what you guys think. I really like it though. So I just wanted to show you because I couldn't not show you and have you watch the whole video. So now we'll officially sign off. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe and join me for the next video. Alright, I hope you had fun and let me know what you did if you drew along with me. And until then, have a great rest of your day. Alrighty, bye-bye.